Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. This is me doing this the first time. I've never ever made a tier list in my entire life. So what I did was I went onto tier list maker, typed in Marvel Snap Pool 1 cards, and luckily somebody already did this. So this is great. This is really awesome. I'm really excited in seeing how I'm going to rank most of this stuff. If I'm gonna like scroll up, can you guys see this? I hope everything is fine. Like, I don't know, this is like absolutely my first time doing this, so let's do that. So this is ranked from S tier to D tier. Yeah, you guys know how these tier lists work, so I'm gonna go through every single card, trying to talk a little bit about it. We have some down here at the bottom as well, so I just have to close some ads and we're gonna get straight to it. There's quite some stuff that we have to cover, so I'm gonna immediately start with Quicksilver, which is basically, I think, the first card that you get in the game. This is the only reason why I actually have Quicksilver not completely in D tier is, well, you know what, actually, I'm gonna put him in D tier. You know, I'm still gonna, you know, switch things around probably, so if you don't want to see me ramble on for a long time, I think you should, you know, just skip to the end. My point of view is, like, I almost reached rank 70, so this is my thoughts on these cards. Of course, this is just pool 1 right now. I'm gonna do pool 1 to pool 3. I mean, pool 3 is going to be fun, right? Because it's huge. Huge, guys. It's huge. But yeah, anyways, Quicksilver is on D because he always spawns into your hand right when you play him. I personally think he's not... I think he's pretty useless, and it doesn't matter what deck you kind of play, you don't really play Quicksilver anymore. I don't think anybody really plays Quicksilver apart from, you know, pool 1. When you're in pool 1, you might still, when you're really new to this game, you might still use Quicksilver, but as soon as you get out of pool 1, get into pool 2 or 3, you're not going to do much with, yeah, Quicksilver anymore. So, let's go with Rocket Raccoon. Rocket Raccoon for pool 1 is actually not a bad card, and he's still being used a lot in Kazaa decks. For example, I think the Kazaa deck is probably the best pool 1 deck there is right now in the game. I mean, you can argue that the Devil Dinosaur deck is also really good. The Zoo deck in general, you know, it might be up for competition, but I think Kazaa, if you play the Kazaa deck right, I think you can even go close to infinite rank with a Kazaa deck. I think it's, honestly, I really think it's possible if you play it right. So Rocket Raccoon is definitely in there. If you predict stuff, if you predict correctly, I think Rocket Raccoon can be pretty strong, but you, especially when you're in pool 1, I think, yeah, I think it's going to be difficult for you to predict where the cards is going to go. Of course, if you play him in turn 6 and you kind of already know where your opponent is going to play it, or in turn 1, you know, then I guess, yeah, I guess so. But he's not necessarily, I don't think he's a C tier or D tier. He's not, definitely not an A and S tier. He's just, I would put him in the B tier just because he's just really very average. If you run him, it's not a bad choice running Rocket Raccoon if you know how to play him. Next card is Scarlet Witch. Yeah, she does quite a lot, especially in, you know, especially in control decks. I have her in a control deck, and I think she's stunning. She's really good. There's some other cards that you can use to exchange her. You can play Rhino, and you can do that kind of stuff. But I think Scarlet Witch, you know, that gives you the choice to change a location is huge, because there's some decks where locations absolutely destroy the complete deck. So I think Scarlet Witch can do some damage in the game, man. It can really do some damage, and you can definitely control your opponent with this card. This is why anything that is really controlling goes into A and S tier, in my opinion, because right now I just uploaded the video. You can check it out. It's a crazy meta deck right now, and it's so good controlling, and I actually have her in it. So I think she really deserves an A. She does not deserve an S tier. For me, S tier is absolutely overpowered, really, really strong, and it can boost your deck like crazy. This is why I think Scarlet Witch is definitely not a B tier. She's not average. She's actually more than average. That's why I got it in there. Alright, Sentinel. Sentinel is pretty good, actually, in a few decks. I think he's a B tier just because Sentinel is pretty good at, you know, you play Sentinel and you're gonna get another Sentinel back, and this is why I just think you're never gonna starve in a deck running Sentinel if you actually draw into him, because you will always get a Sentinel back. You can really use Sentinel also in a Cerebro deck, which is going to help you out a lot, because some Cerebro decks, you know, have just 3 cost cards in there, and it is a pretty good card. So I'm gonna be putting him into the B tier. I'm thinking about A and B because he can really be like a key card in some decks out there, but I think I'm gonna stick to B right now and keep him there. Now, Shocker is a thing. He's literally just good in one deck. You could basically use him in a Cerebro deck as well, but he's really good with Patriot, but he's also really bad without anything. Like, if you don't have anything built around the no effect tier, then, you know, I would say Shocker is pretty bad. But if you use him in a Patriot deck, I would even put him into A tier. But that is the thing. This is pool 1, and pool 1 is, for me, he's pretty useless in pool 1. I just think he just put some power onto the board for a 2-3, but in general, he's just not really that good and really well to play. As you can see, this is a 1-2 and this is a 2-3. So basically they're kind of battling on that. The only reason why I don't put him in D is because you can use him with Patriot and then he actually makes sense. That's why I'm just gonna keep him in the C tier as of now. Alright, Spectrum is a really good card. Spectrum is a card that is going to, as far as I believe, boost your ongoing cards +2, I think, right? I haven't used Spectrum in a long time. If you have an ongoing deck, this card actually can save you quite a few times, to be honest, and you can easily jump out of the lower ranks into, you know, the mid-tier ranks to like rank 30, 40, something like that. It's really much possible with Spectrum. She's kind of battling between S tier and A tier. I think she does give people the upper hand. These cards in general are kind of tricky to handle as well. For example, we also have the Silver Surfer, for example, is a card. Cerebro is a card that buffs certain cards. So I think Spectrum, especially in pool 1, I think is really strong. It's a really strong card getting Spectrum into it. So if you've gotten her and you haven't really kind of like tried to make her work or anything, I think you should definitely try to work on a deck with Spectrum, because it teaches you a lot about the game and she's actually quite fun to play. Spider-Woman, one of my favorite cards. I just like Spider-Woman. I think she's also fighting between the A tier and S tier. I'm gonna put her into S tier just because I like her so much, but I would say she's more like an A tier. But in my opinion, Spider-Woman is just awesome. I just like her. I just like the card because every time you get a Spider-Woman, if you combine her with Wong as well, she's just really, really strong. And especially in pool 1, it's like one of these cards, when you draw into Spider-Woman, you're like, oh damn, here we go again. So yeah, Spider-Woman, cool card. Really enjoy her. I put her into S tier. This, by the way, guys, this is pool 1. I'm judging pool 1 only, right? This is why otherwise Shocker would have gone up and stuff. I'm just judging pool 1, guys. Very important that you get this. This is not based on the entire game. This is just pool 1. If we would base it on the entire game, she would be somewhere like B or C tier. But for pool 1, I think Spider-Woman and Spectrum are absolutely game changers and they're really strong. Squirrel Girl, damn. Also, I was so happy once I got Squirrel Girl. I kind of gotta keep up the pace here a little bit because I have so many cards left to do. I mean, this video otherwise is gonna be like 2 hours long. This one I'm gonna just speed it up a little bit. Squirrel Girl is definitely gonna go into A tier because she's going to copy or throw out some other Squirrel Girls onto the board, onto other locations. Really strong in a Khazar deck. Again, we have Star-Lord here, does basically the same thing as Rocket Raccoon. You gotta kind of guess and see if it's good. I can see why many people use this card, you know, I can see why many people use Star-Lord, but ultimately I think these two cards, they're gonna fall flat eventually because you're not gonna use them anymore. Sometimes you will, sometimes you won't, it just depends on the situation. Strong guy, very strong with MODOK, not so much in pool 1. To be honest, it is quite difficult to have him, to have no hand, like no cards in your hands left anymore. There are some ways to do it, but I think, I mean, with MODOK, I would put Strong Guy into the A tier, but without MODOK, which is not a pool 1 card, I'm gonna put him into B or A. I don't know. If you know how to make Strong Guy work in pool 1, he's an A card. If you don't know, he's more like a D card. It's not gonna work very well for you guys. And I don't know why Strong Guy is not a 2-3, is he? I think Strong Guy was, that's like old, like before the changes were made. So don't look at the power. I think he's a 4 card. As far as I believe, I think Strong Guy is a 4 card. He was changed, and yeah, just don't mind the numbers here. I'm gonna put him into B tier because he's really tricky to make him work. If you make him work, he's pretty good, but if you don't make him work, he's pretty bad. So let's just keep him in here. But he did get buffed, so it's not a 2-3 anymore. Anyway, Swordmaster, the friend of the destruction, of the random destruction. I mean, destruction decks are also very common in pool 1, and I think he is a B tier card. You use him in quite a lot. He's again fighting with B and A, but every time I'm unsure where it's not an A, then I'm gonna put him into B tier. So I think my B tier list is going to be into the, it's more like balance. The B stands for balance, you know? So again, yeah, we have the Thing. The Thing does put power onto the board. This is why it's not a D, but it has no effect whatsoever. This is why I'm gonna keep him there. Now for pool 1, Uatu is actually a pretty good card. I'm gonna put him into A tier because if you have him in the beginning of the game, you're going to see what the locations are gonna turn into, which means you will be able to see what is happening, and you can plan your play into the future. So for pool 1, this card is really good. For pool 2, 3, 4 later games, he's more like a D to C tier because nobody plays him anymore. But I think in pool 1, Uatu is a really good card, and it's also gonna help you with these random locations, so to speak, right? Now Bishop is a pool 1 S tier card. There is no fuss about it. Bishop is gonna go straight into S tier. He's just a really good card. If you have him somewhere played and you're gonna play other cards, he's gonna get buffed. So eventually you can make like a 3-10 or something, or 3-8 out of him. It just depends what you play. If you play a Khazar deck, you know, if you play in turn 6, a lot of 1-cost cards, he's gonna gain another 6 power due to it, and he's also gonna get buffed with Mysterio, which is not a pool 1 card, but he's just really strong. White Tiger is also gonna go into S tier because if you combine White Tiger with my good old buddy Odin, basically it's a 5-14 card, you know, exposure. It's a really strong card. You can do some really good plays with it, and yeah. We have Wolfsbane. Wolfsbane is going to go into A tier because it is the last card on the location that you should be playing if you already have 3 cards down. This is why I think he deserves the A tier list. He's going to become a 3-7 as far as I believe. I'm not 100% sure, but I think it's a 3-7. It's 2, 4, 6. Yeah, +2 for every card you have in this location. So he's going to become a 2-7, 3-7. So that's really good. You know, that's why I'm going to keep him in A tier. Wolverinio got a buff, so he basically became from a C to a B. I still think even after the buff, I mean, I think it's good that Wolverine got buffed. Honestly, I think that's great because it's a cool character and I really like him. Many people might actually disagree with me. You might think he's an A tier card, but you know, in Destroyer decks as well, he is very common. You know, everybody runs Wolverine in Destroyer decks. Because once you destroy him, he's gonna gain another +2 power. But yeah, I'm kind of thinking about these two again. This is why I'm gonna put him in B tier. He should be in A, but I'm gonna keep him in B just for now. You know what? No, I'm gonna do this because if I look at Wolverine and go through with Rocket Raccoon, Sentinel, Swordmaster and such, I think he's a better card. This is why I'm going to put him in A. I think he's a better card than these guys here. Maybe not a strong guy, but as these other cards, I think that's why I'm going to put him into A tier. Yondu is, yeah, he is pretty good. Many people run him. Many people run him in the beginning, and there's a lot of debate about Yondu, who you should actually have, or if you should have, you know, the Iceman and stuff. I don't know, but I think Yondu is pretty good. He's a solid card for pool 1 players. I'm thinking between C and B, but I'm going to put him in B. I think he's very classic because when you play him in turn 1, you're going to destroy a card from your opponent. Gives you a little bit more control, just a little disruption. And yeah, again, Blade is another destruction card. It's a 1-3 and it discards a card. destroys a card in your hand or discards a card in your hand, something like that. Is going to be, a card is going to get discarded. This is why still I think destruction decks are pretty cool to play. They're a lot of fun, but they're not necessarily like the crazy meta in pool 1, to be honest. But you know, people have some other choices and thoughts on this. All right, Blue Marvel, easy peasy S tier class. Blue Marvel buffs every single other card there is on the board +1. Strong, really strong. Not gonna say nothing about this. Now we have Abomination. For a 5-cost card, it actually is an Abomination. So I wouldn't run him in any deck whatsoever. Maybe again in a Patriot deck if you so want to do that, but I don't know. Abomination for, there's so many good 5-cost cards out there where I think Abomination really falls flat on his face. I'm not even, I don't know, I'm not even thinking about C tier. For me, the first thing that comes to mind is Abomination is a card I've never played. I'm CL almost 3000. Okay guys, I'm almost level 3000 in this game and I've never played Abomination, so. Enchantress, oh my god. I'm gonna bring her into A tier. She's really strong. She's going to stop ongoing effects, which is not too important in pool 1. This is why she's only A tier. If it would be judged in general, she would be probably an S tier, but because you can literally stop Wong, you can stop Kazaa, you can stop Blue Marvel, you can stop many cards with Enchantress, so she's the ultimate Kazaa deck counter. She's amazing, really good card. She's also good in pool 1, definitely a card that you should hold on to and maybe play if you know how to play her, but yeah, it's a great card. Cable is going to go into C tier, just simple. It's just going to remove the top of the deck of your opponent and destroys it as well. Yeah, I don't know. I already have these destruction cards in B. I'm going to go with C tier on Cable. I rarely play Cable. Not many people play Cable. But in this case, you know what? You're going to get the card, right? Is that it's not going to destroy it. You're going to get the top of the card, but that can also disrupt your playstyle. So if you don't get a specific card and you're waiting for it and you play Cable, you're gonna get another additional card to your deck, which makes the chances slimmer of you drawing the cards that you want. So I'm not gonna be too keen on him. Alright, Hulkbuster is definitely, for me, a B tier card. Many people play Hulkbuster. It just, you know, you guys know what he does. I'm not gonna I have to keep sprinting through a little bit. Corgi, my boy Corgi. For Disruption, I think Korg is a really great card. It's gonna shuffle a useless rock into your opponent's hand, which I think is, you know, classic. It's great. I used to love Korg. I still play Korg to this day, and he's in quite a few decks of mine, especially with Rock Slide is a toxic combination because you're going to shuffle 3 rocks into your opponent's deck by the turn 3, and that is really annoying. So Korg, really good, even in pool 1, great disruption, pairs well with Yondu, you know, nice synergy there. You can do some crazy stuff with it. So, let's get into this. Captain America. Alright, for me personally, it's a C tier card. I know, you guys are gonna hate me for this. For me personally, it's a C tier card, but I'm gonna put him into the B because many people like to play him and he's gonna gain some power with cards already onto the board. Misty Knight is, again, for me, sadly, a D tier card. You can use her again in a Patriot deck, but that has nothing to do with pool 1. I'm gonna actually bring Shocker down as well because the thing is, you know, this is pool 1. I'm only judging by pool 1. And I think these are no effect cards that don't do you any good. Anyways, White Queen. That is a tier card, pretty strong card. She has a lot of power. It's the same as Rock Slide as far as I believe. It's a 4/6 card. She's used in many decks. Just a really strong card overall. Carnage. Oh man, Carnage is my boy. Again, I'm thinking about A, B. That's why it's gonna go into B tier again. It's being used, it's always being used. In every single destruction deck, Carnage is a part of it. I'm gonna bring him into A, man. I like my Carnage. Many people use Carnage. It's a classic. It's a classic card in every single destruction deck. I wanna see what happens once these bars get full. Like, can I like swap? Oh, whoa. No, I don't wanna do that. That's weird. Anyways, oh no, wait. Okay, so I have to bring A up. There you go, B, C, D. Alright, Colossus. Yeah. Colossus is a card that can't get destroyed. And that's it. There's nothing else you can do with him. There's no other tricky things you can do. Later on, if you really get Destroyer, I mean, I guess, yeah, you can play him. But it's not gonna get destroyed. Sometimes you have locations where you play a card there and then the card gets destroyed. You can win that location with Colossus, I know, but it's really rare. It's really rare that this happens. So for me, it's a no. This is why I'm gonna put it into the C tier category. Oh my god, Cosmo. The most annoying card in existence of Marvel Snap that has no counter. Ladies and gentlemen, let me present to you the most annoying card in the world, Cosmo. On that location where you play Cosmo, no on-reveal effects are applied. Yeah, it's annoying. I already saw Cyclops. It's a no-effect card either as well, so it's going to be a D tier for pool 1. Cosmo is insane. Oh my god. How many times I've Cosmo'd myself, I cannot count anymore. Unbelievable, ladies and gentlemen. Cosmo, but it is such a strong card. If you master Cosmo, trust me, you're gonna win cubes. You're gonna win so many cubes. Deathlock, 3/5. Another destruction card. Gonna go with 3.5 because he literally just destroys everything around him. Gonna be a 3.5. Carnage is literally better if you have 3 cards already placed there. Doesn't matter if it's a useless rock or 1 cost cards or 6 cost cards or 5 cost cards. It doesn't matter. Carnage is gonna gain +2 power every time he destroys something. So eventually he's gonna become a 2/8. This is why Carnage is awesome, and I'm gonna keep Deathlock at 3. Alright, Devil Dinosaur. Archetype card. Can't argue about it. Really strong card. I personally never liked Devil Dinosaur decks ever. Like, I didn't really like him very much. I didn't like the fact that I have to keep drawing cards and have a full hand to have a strong Devil Dinosaur. But other people like it. Other people rank up with it. Enough said. Doctor Strange. Movement decks. Quite important. I'm gonna keep him in the B tier. To C tier. I don't know. I think I'm gonna keep him in the B tier. Let me see what happens when I do this. Okay. It's nice. Okay, so yeah, I'm gonna keep him in the B tier just because Doctor Strange can move Falcon. It has a beautiful synergy with Falcon, and he's gonna gain so much power. Yeah, Doctor Strange is pretty good at that. Pretty good at moving the strongest card in your on the board. But that's it, right? I'm gonna actually, you know what? I'm gonna keep him here because still pool 1. There is no Falcon. No, it's not Falcon. What is the card called? Vulture. Sorry, but Vulture. I don't see Vulture. It's not a pool 1 card. This is why I'm gonna put him into C. Actually, you know what? Yeah, it's movement, right? Yeah, no, I'm gonna keep him into C tier. That's, I think, a perfect match for pool 1. If it would be for pool 2, 3, so on, he would get a higher ranking. But for pool 1, I'm gonna put him into the C tier because you can move your cards to win this location in the end, you know, to move something around. And you know, sometimes this is all it takes to win the game. But in this case, I don't know. I'm just gonna keep it onto the C tier. All right, Elektra is gonna be a actually pretty strong card, and I'm gonna tell you why. Elektra does destroy 1-cost cards, and again, for the later tiers, actually, I would keep her in B, but for now I'm gonna keep her in C just because she is a great Sunspot killer. Sunspot is pool 2, strong card, very strong card, probably one of the best pool 2 cards ever. Definitely S+ tier, and then she can literally kill him. But right now, since we're in pool 1, there is no Sunspot, which means you can only kill pool 1 cards like Yondu, Korg, Quicksilver. I mean, you could destroy, if your opponent has a successful Rocket Raccoon, Elektra could destroy Rocket Raccoon. But in general, yeah, I think for pool 1, I think they're better cards. Domino, again, D tier, although she does have an effect, she's always drawn in turn 2. That is, I guess, good, but not really. You know, I don't see many Domino decks in any pool. I don't see many Domino decks. This is why I'm gonna keep her on D. I tried around with Domino to get a specific card on turn 1, but I don't know. Alright, X-Forge, 4G, X-Forge I think his name is, right? He's gonna buff your card +2, I think? Is it +2 or +3? I don't know. I'm gonna keep him in C tier because, again, in pool 1 he's meh. Because he's a 2-1, he's meh. Not that crazy. Gamora is another card like Rocket Raccoon. You have to guess where the opponent plays a card. If you guess correctly, she's gonna gain some power. And I think she's gonna gain like 4 or something, or 3 or something. I don't know. I think this is... I think she got nerfed or something in... I don't know if this is still correct. But I think she's a solid card. Again, like Star-Lord, like Rocket Raccoon. These are cards that you can have in your deck and they're not gonna hurt you. They're not gonna hurt you. And yeah. Alright, for pool 1, I'm gonna put America Chavez into S tier, and there's a reason why I do that. Many decks use her just to, because she's gonna be drawn only on turn 6, not before, not after, nowhere never. This is why America Chavez is a great choice. So you're gonna have a better starting hand. Yeah, America Chavez is being used, and she's a 6'10". I think she got nerfed to 6'9", I think. I'm not entirely sure, but many people use her. In pool 1, in pool 2, pool 3, she's always there. She's always in very, very, very many decks. So America Chavez is going to be a S tier. Although I do think about putting her into A tier, but I think S tier right now is going to be good for that, because there's only one card that's stronger than her, and that is the good old Hulk Smash. But we're gonna talk about that in a second. Alright, Groot is another Guardian of the Galaxy card. You have to kind of guess. Again, that's why he's gonna go into B tier. Yeah, this is just like an easy write-off. I'm just gonna go like everywhere. Just put him into B tier. But he's not a C and he's not an A. So, same goes for Rocket Raccoon. He's not a C tier character, and he's not an A tier character either. Hawkeye is gonna go into category C. He's a 1-1. Eventually, if you play a card their next turn, he's gonna get turned into a 1-3 card. Again, you can use him with Cerebro in the Cerebro deck in general, but this is a pool 1, you know, thingy. I'm gonna keep him there. Heimdall. Archetype card for movement in pool 1, in pool 2. Very important card. But movement is lacking a little bit of, you know, everything currently in the current meta. And this is why Heimdall is not a S tier card, but I've won quite a lot of games because my opponent hasn't seen it coming that I'm gonna move everything to the right or to the left. I don't know which one it was with Heimdall. I think to the right. Heimdall is interesting. It's a good card. It's an A+ card. It's an archetype card. Hulk. Alright, listen. For pool 1, Hulk can win you games. In pool 2, 3, 4, 5, it's more like a C card. In pool 1, he has high power. I think he got buffed to a 6'12", as far as I believe. And that's why I'm gonna put him into A tier. For pool 1, he's actually a pretty good 6-turn card, can win you many games. But if you get into later ranks and games, you'll see that Hulk is not really good anymore. Alright, Angel. Destruction decks. I'm gonna put him into... I think I'm gonna go with C, but I'm thinking about B and C. The thing with Angel is he's run in destruction decks. If a card is gonna get destroyed, Angel is gonna fly out onto the board. Basically a free 2-power card that you get in destroyer decks. But again, you know, I see him being played a lot. Alright, doorbell rang. Had to open up the door, everybody. I don't know where I was. I have no idea. Talked about something and I'm gone. So I'm just gonna continue now. Sorry. I completely forgot what I was saying. So let's go with Iron Fist. He's a very, again, movement decks. Movement decks are so and so. He's a pretty strong card to move some cards. But again, for pool 1, I think he's going to go into C tier, into later games, into later ranks. You can put him into B tier. He's a pretty solid card to move for Vulture. You know, you can use Iron Fist and Vulture, where Vulture is gonna get hit over onto another field. He's gonna get his buff, and then you use Doctor Strange again, and he gets another buff. And then later on, you're gonna move the whole deck with Heimdall, and he's gonna get another buff. So it has some nice synergies, but as of now, for pool 1, I'm gonna keep him out of it. Alright, we have Iron Man. Iron Man is gonna go into S tier. Yeah. Iron Man can double your points on your location, so easy, no-brainer. If you have, for example, the location Nexus, really strong. You know, if you have, Onslaught Citadel, which is going to double your ongoing effects, really strong. So S tier, definitely, you can do some crazy stuff with Iron Man. Ironheart is going to go into A tier, not into S tier. Usually I would put her into S tier if we would combine her, for example, with Wong and Mystique, but that is another pool, yet again, everybody. This is why I'm gonna put her into A tier. She's gonna give +2 to other cards on the on other locations. You know, just all other cards. She can choose between every single card. +2, and it's gonna be +6, so +2, +2, +2. So she's pretty good. It's a pretty solid 3-cost card. Can win you many games in the end. Jessica Jones. Yeah, I think they nerfed her. That's not accurate anymore. I think she's a 4/4 or something. I don't know right now out of my head. But in pool 1, I think she's a really strong card. She kind of loses her flair just a little bit as higher as you get. You know, but again, Jessica Jones is a viable card. It's a pretty good card. So yeah. Kazar, Archetype card again, combination with Blue Marvel is absolutely a classic of, you know, of Kazar decks. It's just really great. It's a S+ tier. It's probably, I haven't ranked them yet. Like, I haven't ranked them. They're just S tiers. I haven't ranked them. Like, there's no order in this. This is really important for everybody to know. I mean, I can do that with S tier, you know. I would do that. I actually go with that. Nah. Wait, he costs 6? Yeah, he costs 5 now. So, Kazar, Blue Marvel, we'll put in Spectrum, Spider-Woman, Cosmo, maybe? White Tiger, Bishop, Devil, Dinosaur is gonna go up here somewhere. Iron Man is gonna go down of that. She's gonna go in here. I would do it like that, probably. No, I think that's better. Yeah, so this would be the thingy. Anyways, yeah, let's get back to it. Angela, another really strong card for pool 1. She is a tier card, but she's gonna be right on the front. Angela is really good. Very useful for Kazar decks. Or just in general, because eventually she's gonna turn into a 2/6 or 2/8. I don't remember now fully, but she's really good, strong card. We have Claw. I'm gonna bring him into A tier. Claw is an interesting card. It's gonna, you know, buff the right location next to him, so he's really strong, especially in pool 1. I think he's really good. Yeah, gonna bring Kraven into B tier. If you move a card to Kraven, sadly he's very predictable. That's why he's just gonna go into B tier. If you're able to disguise him somehow, or, you know, play him differently, then I would put him into A. But I think B is fine. He's a very good card. He's balanced. It's a very balanced card. Same goes for Lady Sif. I would probably put Lady Sif, you know, in front of Blade and all of the other destruction cards, because only the highest card in your hand is going to get destroyed by Lady Sif. You can do some cool plays with it. But yeah, again, it's a very good card, very balanced. Lizard, gonna go into B tier, man. You can do a lot of stuff with Blizzard, wow. With Lizard, really interesting, but I'm just gonna keep him in B tier. You know, I'm just gonna power through a few cards. Mantis is another prediction card. You're gonna get a card if you predict it right. This is why I think it's a C tier card, first of all, because you're gonna mess up your deck if you don't have a deck specifically built on receiving cards. And you have to predict correctly. This is why she's gonna go into C tier. It's not really good. We have Ant-Man. Ongoing effect is gonna gain +3, as far as I believe. I think 3, 4, something like that. If the location is full with cards, really good in, again, Blue Marvel, Kazar decks. Ant-Man, just the way to go. Really strong. Medusa, very balanced card. I don't think it's deserving a C or an A. She's very good. If you play her, again, she's quite predictable. If you play her in the middle, you know, there's some power dished out, but yeah, it's not really great, but also not bad. Mr. Fantastic can win you games. I think he is an A tier card in Pool 1. If we go into later ranks, he's more like a B or C tier. But in Pool 1, I think he can win you a lot because he's gonna eventually dish out a 3-6 because he's gonna put 2 on each other location. So if you play him in the middle, you're gonna profit from this quite a bit. Mr. Sinister is going to go into B tier. Later on, if you want to fill your locations, you know, he's pretty good. I think actually I'm going to put him into C tier, to be honest. Mr. Sinister is going to copy another version of himself onto the board. Of course, if you can buff him, his copy is going to get it too, as far as I believe, but it's really difficult in Pool 1 to buff cards. This is why, yeah, Mr. Sinister is going to go in here. Moon Girl is definitely an A to S tier card. I don't think she's fully S tier, but in A tier you can do a lot of stuff. You're gonna double your hand. So if you really have a good card that you want to play multiple times, you can double that with Moon Girl. And there's a lot of play styles that you can do with her. Morph is gonna go into A tier as well, because sometimes really he transforms into the strongest card of your opponent. It's insane. Morph is awesome. I don't play him anymore. Many people don't, but for again, Pool 1, this is a really strong card. Multiple Man is gonna go into the middle because that's movement again. For movement decks, you know, he's alright. He's alright. But again, movement decks are just not strong anymore. They might get buffed very soon. We have Apocalypse for destruction decks, really strong. I'm gonna bring him into A tier. For me personally, he's not an S tier because very predictable. Your opponent sees that you're gonna play Apocalypse, so if you have a pretty good player you're playing against, it's quite, you know, it's pretty simple to see what you're doing and where this is gonna head if you have Apocalypse and, you know, you keep destroying him because your opponent knows, alright, so he's gonna have that card and he's gonna bring it onto the board and many people will retreat. This is why he's not an S tier, he's an A tier class. Namor is actually a pretty, you know, I think he got buffed or nerfed, I don't know. But I'm gonna bring him into C tier. He's good to finish your quests. If you have a quest, win a location with 1 card only or something like that, I think Namor is fine. But there are better cards than Namor that you can play with a 4 power. He's not a B tier either. For me, he's a C tier. Nightcrawler is definitely an S tier card. You can do some moves with Nightcrawler, man. There's a lot of stuff you can do. For example, with Angela, you know, you play Angela, you're gonna play Nightcrawler on top of it. She's gonna gain the +2, and then you can move the Nightcrawler away and play 3 more cards. So she's gonna get 2, 4, 6, 8. She's gonna become like an 8, 2-8 or something, you know, or 9, 2-8. I don't know if that's still accurate now. This whole tier list thing kind of got me a little muddled. All right. Nova. I'm gonna put him into A tier because he's strong when you destroy him on turn 6, when you have all of your cards played out. And there's many cards that are gonna get buffed with Nova, so I think he's a really strong card. He's not an S tier card, but he's definitely an A tier card. Odin, of course, my friends. Odin is gonna be S tier for sure, and he's gonna be right up here, ladies and gentlemen. I don't think Nightcrawler is, I think you can do some stuff with Nightcrawler. So I'm gonna put him here. Yeah, Odin, really good. Really good card. Probably one of the, maybe even the best card for me personally in Pool 1. You are going to, because he has a lot of power, and you're gonna trigger the on-reveal effects again that you've already played in that location. So really strong, really strong. Onslaught, you know, it's gonna go right next to Odin. Everybody knows that. I think White Tiger is gonna go into A tier, to be honest. I'm gonna do a few switches. I'm gonna put Bishop and White Tiger into A tier and really just put the crazy cards. I'm gonna do a few changes, guys. I know this might annoy you, but I just see Odin, Onslaught, Khazar, Blue Marvel, Spectrum. These are just cards, they are just so good. They're just so good where a Cosmo, a Bishop, a White Tiger just can't really go with it. Of course, if you combine White Tiger with Odin, that's a nice combination. But these cards are just so powerful. They're just so powerful. They're archetype cards. And that's why I'm going to bring them. I have to do a few switches here. I'm sorry about this, really, but I'm just seeing this now. So I think think I'm gonna keep that in here like that. I'm still thinking about Spider-Woman. I might actually bring her down into a tier 2. Yeah, I'm gonna do that change. I'm gonna do that because these cards are just so strong. That's why I'm gonna keep them in there. There's a few things there. Now I'm doubting myself. I'm doubting myself in a few choices that I've made here. I think I'm very happy with this here. I'm just not happy with the S tier because S tier is absolutely overpowered. If I look at Odin, Onslaught, Khazar, Blue Marvel, Spectrum, and Devil Dinosaur. These cards are definitely S tier. Now, America Chavez, Nightcrawler, probably, nah, I don't know. Nightcrawler, America Chavez, and Iron Man feels more like, you know, I'm gonna bring them down, honestly. I'm gonna bring them into A tier. I'm gonna do that. And I'm gonna keep it as it is of that right now. Some people of you might call me crazy. But I have to do that. I have to do that because it makes just so much more sense. I had way too many in S tier. All right, Professor X is good in later ranks. He is also good in early games. If you are able to, you know, lock up a location, Professor X is really strong. So I'm gonna put him into A tier, and the Punisher is gonna go into. I would put him into C tier, to be honest. I know. Punisher is not that good, and Armor, very strong, is an A tier card. It's gonna be more like up here somewhere. Armor is a really strong card. You can protect quite a few cards with that from destruction and so on and so forth. You can even destroy playstyles from destroy decks and stuff. So this will be my tier list. I'm actually much happier now with this than I was before. If you think, you know, some of these things are true, then make sure, write them in the comment section below. If you think it was wrong what I did here, then of course, let me know in the comment section below. And yeah, I'm gonna make a pool 2 video if you want. Smash the like button, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.